Okay, this is a video talking about why do bad things happen to good people.
Why do bad things happen to good people? Let's talk about it.
Okay, so the real reason behind it is because Satan is the god of earth, and Satan attacks Christians and non-Christians. That means all people. It doesn't matter who you are, Satan's going to attack you. Some people don't believe in God, some people don't believe in Satan, but the truth behind it is that there's like a spiritual realm that we don't see, and Satan is behind all those bad things that are happening to everybody. There's a verse in the Bible that says Satan steals, kills, and destroys. And one more thing I want to say before we move on is that it kind of like sticks out to a lot of people that bad things happen to good people, but why are we making these like bad and good
Exactly.
things, I think it just sticks out because I think a lot of people think that bad stuff shouldn't happen to good people, but that's kind of like saying bad people deserve for bad things to happen. I don't believe like that. I don't think bad things should happen to anybody. God doesn't think that bad things should happen to anybody. So this whole why do bad things happen to good people? A lot of people ask it, but there's a different question we should try to focus on, and that question is, what can be done when Satan attacks a person? So what do you think about that?
What do I think about that? Well, I think they should really just figure out the source of whatever is afflicting them.
Right.
More so than being like, oh, this thing's happening to me, be like, what can I do to improve? Whatever's going on is going to help you grow.
Right.
It's not going to kill you.
Right. So you're saying it's kind of a matter of perspective, because bad things happen to everyone, and what you choose to do with it is going to change you overall. So like I said, the question is, what can be done when Satan attacks a person? And see, now I'm saying a person instead of good people, bad people, because like I said, it happens to everybody. Yeah, people make good decisions, people make bad decisions, but bad things happen to everyone. If you're a human that's alive on this planet at any given time, something bad is eventually going to happen to you. No one gets through this life without anything bad happening to them. So that's the question. So
unless they're living in a hole somewhere,
right? And that's bad itself. So what I came up with, just real quick off the top, is God is the only power higher than Satan, and God defeats Satan every single time. So whether you believe in God and Satan or whatever, the truth behind it all, once again, is that God's above Satan and God wins every single time. So if you're trying to do it all on your own, if you're trying to rely on yourself, you're going to fail every single time, because you can't do it alone. Satan's powers are higher than yours, but the good thing is that God's still higher than Satan every single time, whether you believe it or not. That's just the truth. And as long as we live on this earth, Satan, who is the god of earth, will attack. And why is that? That's a good question, because that's just what he does. He's just a bad dude. He's just out to get all of us. That's just what he does. But again, good news is that what Jesus does, Jesus saves. So Jesus is always the answer, no matter what the problem is. And like Ross was saying earlier, something bad happens to you. Something bad happens to all of us, but you have to kind of let yourself grow from that and see it for what it is. See it as it's not just something that happened. It's an attack of the devil, because bad things don't just happen. And another huge thing is, it's not God doing it. Just because God is more powerful than Satan doesn't mean that God's just allowing these bad things to happen. Like I said earlier, Satan is the god of this world, so he's causing this stuff. And we have the choice to pray to God and to ask him to help us. We always have a choice. Even when something happens to us, we have the choice of how we respond to it, and that's really huge. So we can't just sit around saying God's the one doing it to us. That's wrong. And when something bad does happen, again, we have the choice to ask God, help us help us to just improve the situation, because you know there's a lot of things that do happen that's on our hands, like the Rona.
Certain things are in your control and certain things are out of your control.
Yeah, and the only thing that you do have control of is how you respond to it. So, I mean, I think, like, first of all, if you're not saved, you know, you're kind of, in my opinion, you're headed on a slippery slope, whether you are a good person or not. Like, even if you're a good person, you know, and you're not saved, at the end of all of it, you know, you don't get to go to heaven because you're not saved, you know. And then sometimes people are saved and they have crappy lives on earth, but then they have heaven to look forward to. It's just, you know, not much is up to us, but we do have some choices, and those ones are important, and they will make a big difference. So, yeah, again, it's just important to know, like, where it's all coming from.